Well, good morning, Alex. It's so good to have you here with us this morning. This is an exciting day. Um, I wanted to ask you with regard to stewardship, lots of folks are leaving the church right now, and especially young people. And yet you and Mark are deciding to have your son Peter baptized in a church. And I wonder what causes you to make that kind of decision today?
Yeah. Well, Mark and I both grew up in faith communities and got to experience the gift of intergenerational friendships, as well as communities that were intentional about being connected to the world around them in service, and worship practices that connected us to our own selves as well as God. And so we want that for Peter. We at least want him to have the option, the awareness of that kind of opportunity.
Yeah, that's great to hear articulated. And why, in particular, St. Paul's? What has drawn you and Mark to this community of faith at this time?
Yeah, we fell in love with St. Paul's when it was actually in between rectors. So we got to see the body of faith kind of at work without leadership, but with plenty of leadership and plenty of strength and fortitude. And we got to see lay ministry at work, which was just beautiful to see the body at work. And then when we met you, we were hooked, not going anywhere. But yeah, it was a real gift, I think, to join at a time when the community was in discernment about where they would be, who would lead them, and to see them not putting ministry on pause, but actually as vibrant as ever. And so we fell in love with it then, and then we continued to fall in love with the community for its ecumenism and connection to the Lutheran Church and Mary Magdala. Just seeing the community be about more than just itself and its own longevity, but about its connection to others across difference. And personally, for me, it's a place where I feel welcome, like all the different parts of me are welcome. I can be believer and skeptic. I can be giver and receiver. I can be actively involved and also in a season of rest. And it still feels like my home, even when we don't make it on a lot of Sundays right now with nap times for Peter. But it's not about Sunday morning necessarily for us. We feel connected to this community as a real spiritual home for us.
So good to hear. And so you both, Alex and Mark, have given of your time to lead poetry workshops. I know Mark right now is heading up our audit committee, and you give of your treasure as well. Why do you make the choice to do that?
Yeah, several reasons, but I think about that scripture in Matthew 6. I think the where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. And so I think for us, giving is a way of kind of putting our heart on the line. It's a way of investing in what we care about. And if our treasure of any sort is invested in the ministries of St. Paul's, then our hearts kind of come alongside what we've invested in. And think I think it's also in Matthew, the idea of investing in things that are eternal, that not the storehouses of this earth, but treasure in heaven. And when I think about treasure in heaven, for me, that means people. People are is eternal. And I see St. Paul's being a place that invests in people, being open to people of all walks of life, all backgrounds, skeptics, believers, people who've typically not been accepted at church. And so I want to be about the work of investing in people.
That's great. Thank you so much for your time this morning. And now we'll move on to a baptism.
Thank you.
Thank you.